Monday, August 5th, 2025. A group of students began a journey. The idea: help them build a stronger understanding of the connection between church and everyday life on earth. The mission: show them how the church has shaped, influenced, and informed government and legislation throughout history. We called it Sacred Ties.
This outstanding group of young people set flight for Philadelphia, PA, the birthplace of America and the home of the first African Methodist Episcopal Church, founded by former slave Richard Allen. Our tour guide was well informed as she articulated the significance of various icons and locations throughout the city. Part of this tour was to stop at St. George United Methodist Church and Mother Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church. Here, we discussed slavery, the abolitionist movement, and the significant role Bishop Richard Allen played in advocating for the rights of Africans, both free and enslaved. That night, we kicked back for a little fun and some conversation about what had transpired during our tour. The next day, we did some sightseeing on our own. And of course, who comes to Philly and doesn't get a cheesesteak sandwich? From there, we jumped on a bus headed for Washington, D.C. The next day, we went directly to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Monument. From there, we proceeded to the Lincoln Memorial, National Mall, the World War II Memorial, the Washington Monument, and of course, the White House, built by slaves, free Africans, and immigrants from Europe. We found the young people to be insightful and inquisitive, and we discussed the monuments around the nation's capital. The next day, we were disappointed to learn that the National Museum of African American History and Culture had unexpectedly closed due to an HVAC emergency. But God did not disappoint. We redirected our paths to the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. This provided an unexpected opportunity to further observe the influences of church, faith, and God's people upon the fabric of our society. Young people's minds were churning, questions were flowing, and we could see the little light bulbs turning on. From there, our journey continued to the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History. If you want to know how awesome God is, simply look at the beauty of His creations. After a good night's sleep, we were ready for our final leg, the United States Capitol. Representative Frank J. Miravan of Indiana graciously welcomed us into his office and arranged for a tour for our group. The Capitol provided a rich platform for conversation. We discussed how our government works, and again, how the influences of key religious figures, historic and recent, have helped shape our country. This was more than an informative excursion. It was life-changing and inspiring. We later discovered that many of the children had never had these experiences, such as flying on an airplane, staying in a very nice hotel, or simply eating at Chipotle. For them, this journey was eye-opening and allowed them to see the bigger world they do not see at home. Hear what our children had to say about this trip.
So I was reading about Mother Bethel's history, and their goal since the beginning was to find ways to teach us African Americans, because we couldn't go to school to learn how to read and write, and Sunday school helped us learn how to read and write, because we couldn't go to school because we weren't allowed to.
I just seen how the church really helped out, had played a big part in the American society in general.
I have to say the most exciting part of the trip was learning all about, how influential the church is in our day-to-day lives and how much it influences the great leaders that we see and that I talked about and that we learn about in school or outside of school and everywhere in between.
What I liked most about the trip was seeing the different quotes on the wall about Martin Luther King, because me personally, I didn't know that all that was there, and it was a good experience to see it. And the big stone of him, it was very tall, and it was just a good experience to see that.
We would like to thank every member of First AME Church who gave, prayed, and supported this effort. We would like to thank the Nora F. Taylor Society for providing free luggage and a boatload of snacks for the journey. We would like to thank Project Kid for providing leadership, planning, and free t-shirts for everyone. Lastly, and not least, we would like to thank the Center for Congregations for their generous financial support and their faith in our ability to impact these children in a life-changing way. We do not see this mission as complete, but rather, it is a continuance of our never-ending journey in faith formation for our young people. To God be the glory.